My marketing director, she has been with me for 8 years as well.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. Listen, we believe every agent should make a minimum of $100,000 per year, and we're on a mission to make this happen. We've already helped over 100 agents achieve this with our coaching. So if you want to fast track your business growth, get to your first $100,000 in GCI or add another $100,000 in GCI using social strategies, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com, or you can just click the link in the description below. Also, just make sure to follow us, hit that subscribe button, and if you get any value from this at all, please tell a friend and leave us a review. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Elite Agent Secrets show. Today we've got Beth Pretty with us with 13 and a half years in the real estate industry, over 600, nearly 700 homes sold. She's got a small team and has given out over $230,000 of her commissions to a local Richmond community to nonprofits in the last 9 years, which is pretty insane and philanthropic. I think, Beth, you are the first one who's come out and gone, I give a shitload of my money away to help local communities, which we absolutely love. Today, we're going to be discussing small team structures, relationship business that is real estate, and giving back to your local community. Beth, thanks for jumping on the show with us today to share your story and your 3 secrets.
Thank you for having me.
So one of the things that we like to do for all our guests, for all our listeners, is take us back. 13 and a half years ago, you made the amazing or terrible choice to get into real estate. You tell us. So how did it come about? What was the reason for getting into real estate? And take us on a bit of a journey as best you can over the last 13 and a half years, how your business has grown and scaled and to where you are today.
Sure. So I used to be a college administrator, and that's what I did for 15 years. I worked at Florida State and University of South Dakota and East Carolina. And my last job, I was Associate Dean of Students at William and Mary for 7 years. And my husband moved up to the Richmond area with a job, and I followed him and decided to retire and be a stay-at-home mom. And 1 week into that, I said, what the hell have I done? This is not for me. So I did stay home with my 2 toddlers and newborn for 2 years. But the whole time I was researching real estate, house flipping. I was reading the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Gary Keller. I was watching everything you could possibly watch on HGTV. Of course, we in real estate know that has nothing to do with real estate. And, I was taking
the irony behind it all.
Right. So I'd take the kids to the library and we'd be in the kids section getting their books, and I'd run over to the real estate section. So in 2008, right when the market crashed, I thought, well, this is a great time to get into real estate. So I took the exam, got my license, and started my journey in real estate. I think I did 8 deals in my first year, and my brokerage took 60% of that. And I thought, okay, well, I got to scale this up. I got to do better. So I took some classes, specifically KW's Bold class, to learn how to learn those scripts and learn how to scale up my business, and have been successful ever since. And as far as the team goes, I started building the team in 2014.
So wow. You decided to build your business in the worst economic time for housing.
Yes.
You're like, I haven't done this yet.
I actually had a job offer from a local university. And so I had to choose between the two. My husband said, go for it. Everyone else said, what the hell are you doing? But I went for it. So,
I mean, that kind of grit that you would have to build and to build during that time is insane. That is the housing crash that decimated, the world basically. And And, a lot of people feel like the pandemic has done that, but in reality, it didn't. It did to some, but actually a lot of the top producers, you might be one, I want to dive into that, have found the last 2 years to be like some of their best years ever, if not their best years absolutely ever. Like their businesses have rocketed off. And I think it's all to do with perspective and like how you've overcome the current situation. So, but before we dive into that, 8 in your first, do you know roughly kind of how you scale? Is it like 8, 16, 20, 30?
So my first year I did 8. My second year I did 14. My third year, I think I made it up to 18. And then the fourth through the sixth year, I really hovered between that 15 to 20. And it's one of these things where I spent all day trying to lead generate. Then I put the kids to bed. And then at night, I was up all night doing paperwork. Never saw my husband very often, very little. It just was no way to live. So I took the plunge. I think that in 2013, I think I did 24 deals. And I thought, okay, I need an admin. So I, of course, had a low self-esteem and thought, well, who would ever come to work for me? And I found someone who was as desperate as I was. And she came onto my team part-time. And I said, as the business grows, I can, give you more and more hours. I think by the third month, she was full-time. So it happened very quickly. And that year that I brought her on, I did 42 deals. And it was huge. And the admin was the difference, 24 to 42. I wasn't doing anything else differently other than having her handle all the paperwork. So I could really focus on that lead generation and building that relationship with all my clients. Then I decided on December the 26th, 2013, that I was going to bring on a buyer's agent. And I was terrified. And I literally, New Year's Eve, sat in front of my computer. It had struck 12 midnight. It was now New Year's Day. And I pressed the send button of my ad to all the places and all the real estate agents that I got their email addresses who I wanted to offer the job to. And then I got my buyer's agent by February 1st of 2014. She is still with me to this day. And I've kept my team small. So, each year we went from 45 deals to 55 deals to pretty consistently doing 60 to 70. But as you said, the last 2 years have been pretty darn good for us.
So what will the last 2 look like? So you've had pretty consistent scale. One of the things that's interesting is we see this all too often now. It's super common where adding in an admin literally doubles production. It would be like, I do 12, I brought in an admin, and I do 24, nothing's changed. I do the same amount of work, I just don't do the paperwork, so I've got more bandwidth to lead generate and close deals. But my hours are exactly what they were before, but I just now make twice as much money, but I've got to pay an admin, a little bit of that, but that's it. And now this is one of the easiest ways to scale. Get an admin, get someone to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, my first admin, she really was just transaction coordination. And I was having to do all my own marketing. And so then I decided I really need a person who can do marketing and the TC work. So, the saying, slow to hire, quick to fire. So the person I had was not working out great. She didn't have that skill set, making a lot of mistakes. Let her go. I found a little rock star, my little empire builder helper, and she was just doing gangbusters on the transaction part. We were starting to squeeze in the marketing. Her background was in marketing. So I said, okay, I need to let you shine and let you do what you do. So then I found another transaction coordinator, and she became my full-time marketing director. So I actually have transaction coordinator, I have a full-time marketing director, and I have a part-time client care coordinator and one buyer's agent. 2020, we did 82 deals. 2021, last year we did 92.
Right. And what's the goal for this year then? You're going to put it out there for the universe.
Well, I'm actually going to be doing a lot of traveling this year, and so I didn't explode the goals. So we are hovering around 95 because I'm going to be gone for about a month throughout the year. This year, I've got another kid heading off to college, so I've got 2 kids in college. I want to be able to visit them,
Yeah.
and because we just hired a new client care coordinator, got a lot of training to do there. So 95 is our goal for 2022.
95, but you get a month of time, which is actually what almost everybody in real estate ends up wanting. They get the money, they get some of the stuff they want, and then they go, actually, I want time back now, which is now what you're doing. You go, and I've got 95, but I'll do 95 again, but I've got an extra month off now, or a month doing what I want, which is huge. Like, that's a win for a lot of people. And if that's the way you want to go, hey, I'll stick to 95 a year for the next 10 years, but I'll get 2 months off next year.
Absolutely. I mean, my philosophy on a team is you get lots of really rock star support staff, and then you really only need a buyer's agent. I mean, you don't need to have the 5 or 10 agents on your team to be successful and do well.
So one of the things that I find very impressive is it's the opposite ideology of what everybody else thinks. And I also feel that the big teams that have 10, 15, 20, 30 agents, what happens is they're taking on everybody. So then they have the few agents that actually are producing, and 80% of their team, well, maybe let's say the other 20% doing like a few deals here and there where they're still kind of making money, and then the rest are not making anything. So now they're not getting the attention that's required. That's one, right? Because the team leader is going to focus his attention on the guys that are producing. Then he's going to focus on the guys that are somewhat producing. So then the guys that are trying to produce, you're almost doing them a disservice by having such a large team. So by keeping it small like you're doing, Beth, it is actually making your team stronger, because the way we look at this with Andrew, it's like you're only as good as your weakest link. So why have a team of 30 that's sucking up all of your time when you can have all that time back? You don't have to, not have that month extra that you're talking about being, just absolutely destroyed. But the guys that aren't going to be producing in the first place, so might as well just get rid of them on the team, from the team, period, right?
Well, and you also have these big teams and many, and I'm competing against them in my own brokerage. I mean, I have a team of 15 people here and I outsell them. The reason, and a lot of these big teams, their team leaders, their rainmakers will reach out to me and say, how are you doing this? And how is it possible you have a buyer's agent on your team who's been with you for over 8 years? Well, it's because I don't dilute the lead pool by having 5, 10, whatever agents competing for my limited resources of leads. She's making almost as much. I mean, my buyer's agent makes $150,000 a year. She's going nowhere. She will be with me till the day she retires because her love language is money and being able to support herself. And she has goals. And, I want her to reach her goals. And how she does that is by making an incredible living. And that's how she does it.
I love what you just said here, because you said she's not going because you understand what she's looking for, which means you're providing it. And by providing it, why the hell would she go anywhere else and quote unquote start over and go through the struggle and go through all the crap again by herself?
Yeah, I mean, at 8 years, there's no chance. I mean, we've heard of some long agents staying. You're definitely up there, like 8, 10 years. And a lot of people are like, God, I can't keep my agents for 5, 6 months. And it's this exact problem. There is, I think, one of the sacrifices that you probably made early on, which newer agents don't realize, is like the time investment that you put into her initially to get her rocking and rolling and actually really producing. And that is a real investment. And you wanted to do that for someone that you genuinely believed was solid. They're going to stay with you. If I pour into these people, I think a lot of people are scarce about this, where they're like, if I pour into Peter, and then what happens if like in 6 months he just leaves me? So then they don't do it. And then this is like, okay, Peter leaves in 6 months anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like it's this like really vicious cycle of like, you've got to go in. I mean, Richard Branson, the guy who owns Virgin,
right.
He said he's got two things. It's train them well enough that they can leave, treat them well enough that they don't want to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how you run $1 billion organization, people. You train them well enough that they can, you treat them well enough that they don't want to, which is exactly what you've done. Now, it's funny. We love talking about money, right? People have this weird thing where it's like scarce about money. Like, oh, it's this like, you can't talk about money. Like, we fucking love money. And the fact that her language of your buyer's agent is, I want to make a shitload of money. It's really easy to communicate. Super easy, because this is why I like salespeople. Right? Because if you're a salesperson, you're a commission-only salesperson, I'm pretty sure I know what language you speak. But if I can make you a shitload of money, you're probably going to love me, and you're probably not leaving, right? Like this is the truth of it. So if you're filling her with leads that she's closing, she likes you as a person, and it's not getting diluted, she's already making 150. Like, even if she wanted to leave, all the hurdles to then get her back to that point, she's still looking at a couple of years, most likely, just even to try and do it herself. And then she's got all the headaches of hiring and stuff. And here's a little tidbit for everyone. Most people actually don't want to do it. They think they do. They actually don't. Hiring, firing, running businesses, real estate is a business. There's a lot of shit in there that people just hate. And the truth is, a lot of salespeople just don't want to do anything but sell it. That's it. I want to go sell homes and I want to collect a check. And when I switch off, I don't want you to bother me. And like, I speak their language. I get it. Like, because I want to be them too sometimes. That sounds good too. But like, I love this because there's no ambiguity here. It's like, I speak their language. So I know we've spoken a little bit about your team structure, but I just want to, this is your first topic, was like having a small team structure. So if you could just break it down for us again, you've got one buyer's agent, a marketing director, a TC/admin, and and you've just hired a client care. Mm-hmm. So what are they kind of daily roles? Obviously the buyer's agent, everyone will know, but what are the kind of daily breakdowns for each of these roles? And like, how did you go about hiring as well? I think this is one of the hot topics in real estate. How are you hiring them? Where are you finding them? Things like this, because churn is a big problem, and every team that has agents and team members like you do that stay for so long, they're usually doing something a little bit different, which makes people stay. Right.
Yeah. So again, the whole slow to hire, quick to fire applies definitely to me. So my marketing director, she has been with me for 8 years as well. Wow. And again, I mean, I literally sit down with each employee once they're hired and I say, okay, if you had a perfect world, what would it look like? The buyer's agent said, I want a lot of money. I don't want to work with sellers. I don't want to do paperwork. And I don't want to come to the office every day. Well, for most rainmakers, she would not have been hired because they want them in the office every day. I said, okay, if I let you not come to the office every day, what will that look like? And we hashed that out. And I basically said, I don't care if you're in your underwear on the couch, as long as you get your lead generating done, you can do it from home. So great. She's with me. Marketing director, same thing. What's your perfect world look like? And she has 2 children who are her world. Her husband travels all the time. So I knew where we were going. Her love language is not money. It's, I need to have the flexibility to take my kid to school, pick them up, take them to swim, go to their events. I said, okay, here are the hours I have to have you on the clock, which is basically 10 to 2. And I got to have you accessible. And all the other work I need you to do, you can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I don't care when you do it. I know it's going to get done, and you can work from home. I only need you in the office 1 day a week. And and
which role was this for again?
This is the marketing director.
Okay.
And so she's been with me 8 years. She does all the marketing for our team, as well as all of my listings. She does all the social media, all the print. everything like that.
Awesome. So I have a follow-up question to that. If she's in the office from 10 to 2, does that mean that there's a specific need or issue that you need her to be accessible for in between those hours? Do you always talk to them? What does that dynamic look like?
Right. So the reason I wanted her available every day to me, 10 to 2, is if I need something, if I've got a listing that's coming and I want to hash out a marketing plan, I try to go to every listing appointment with a unique marketing approach. Like I'll go and tell the seller, this is who your buyer is, and this is how we're going to market to them. So, I want to be able to reach her between 10 and 2 to hash those things out before I head off to a listing appointment. I just want to know she's available to me or to anyone on the team between those hours. Otherwise, she has the flexibility to create the publications, or she can do the social media and set it up to drop at certain days and times. So that's how I've worked that out with her. She's a W-2 employee. Her salary is right at $50,000, and she earns bonuses if we meet our goals for the year.
Love that. That was going to be my question.
I like the performance incentive too.
And I give her, instead of huge raises each year, I give her extra time off because I know that's important to her with her kids. She takes them to France. She goes to Oregon every year on vacation. So she needs a few weeks a year to be able to do that. So she gets 3 weeks of paid vacation in addition to a bunch of paid holidays. I give her the whole week off at Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's for her kids. So I don't think she's going anywhere either. Hopefully not.
I'd guarantee she's not. Like
our
everyone listening. I mean, I was just going to say, for everyone listening, like, you need to hear that Beth really, really understands who she's fucking working with right here. Like, this is why these two people have been with her for 8 years. Like, she's speaking their language. Like, this is what I mean. Beth, carry on. I knew this is the thing. When people are like you and you're like, they've been with me for this long, I always know you're doing something different. And you understand stuff because it's true. And a lot of people brush everyone with the same brush. Like you said, not everyone's driven by money, but salespeople are. You got buyers in, chances are they're driven by money. But your marketing director, not so much. She wants time. Love it. Give her more time, not more money. Love it. Go on.
I have a transaction coordinator. Now, she is, full disclosure, she is my sister-in-law. And I got her into real estate as a realtor about 4 or 5 years ago. Might even be longer now. And she didn't love it. She didn't love selling. She didn't like confrontation. She didn't like the hard conversations. She liked the paperwork. So she decided, hey, I'm going to create this transaction coordination business. And I said, great, I'll be your first client. So I'm probably her number one. I give her more transactions than anybody else, but she's got 3 or 4 agents I've brought from my brokerage to her so she could build her business. I knew she wanted her love language is, I want to own my own business, but I just want to do paperwork. So I said, great, let me help you do that.
Who says that? That is so awesome.
Where do they live? Because I think everyone wants one of them.
I was going to say, I hate that part of the business. So,
is there a place that we can go and buy one of those as well? Because we would purchase one.
She's maxed out. A lot of people would like to have her. I keep telling her she needs to expand, but she's not there to do that quite yet. But maybe she'll get there. But she's fabulous. And she lives in the same state. She's in Virginia, but she's a couple hours away. But we do everything electronically and by Zoom, so it's no big deal. I don't need to have her here. My last hire is a new position that we started in 2020, which is called Client Care Coordinator. It's a part-time position. It's a W-2 hourly employee. They make $20 an hour. And I also give them some paid vacation. They get 5 days of paid vacation a year. And I give them a few sick days a year as well, paid. This person, their focus is on our client care program. And I follow the Brian Buffini model of client events, pop buys, gifts, all that kind of stuff. I refer to it as relational or relationship marketing. And that's my business model. I don't chase leads. All of my business is by referral because I focus on this relationship building in our model. So the client care coordinator is supporting all of that.
Oh, and by the way, you might not have known this, but we've already helped over 100 agents cross over $100,000 per year and up in GCI with our predictable and scalable systems. So if you're interested in learning more about our courses and coaching to help you scale your business to 6 figures and beyond, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.